Hi everyone, my name is Rishit. Today is the 26th of October 2025. Today I'll be making my latest addition into my long-running series of technical analysis for stocks and other securities. So in this video we'll cover Nvidia, the leading stock or company in the world. It's the most valuable company in the world and the world global leader in this case for artificial intelligence. It's a very impressive stock. We've covered it quite extensively on my channel. And so today I'll be making my weekly prediction for Nvidia. Now, before we get to the weekly, we have to take a look back. Let's look at the monthly chart, look at the slightly longer time frame, right? So here we can see that there's a clear uptrend in the price pattern. We see that we had a 3 white soldiers candlestick pattern here. However, and this is even more confirmation coming out of this sort of descending triangle pattern. We saw it broke out. It failed. However, this doji, the spinning top candle actually it was the harbinger for a reversal upwards. We see massive reversal. However, in the current month, although it hasn't ended, and this will be the last trading week before October finishes, we see that this is forming another doji spinning top or high wave type of candle. This signals market indecision. Nvidia has been having stellar performance for the last year and a half, and we've been through it every step of the way. We can see some warning signs coming in. Although this is a massive bounce upwards, we see that the volume here is declining. So this is a negative sign that shows that the market is not supporting the breadth of the upwards movement. However, if we look at some of the technical indicators, let's look at RSI. We see that the RSI went down here and then it went up, and now it's sort of flatlining, which is divergent from the price action we're seeing. The price action is seemingly going upwards. However, this stagnation is indicative of this doji indecisive candle here. On the other hand, the MACD actually signals a bullish movement, which is confirmed by the price action currently, and the only time we'll get a contrarian signal is if this thing sort of crosses over. Let's move now to the weekly time frame to see how prices have performed. We see again in way more detail how prices shot up quite significantly. There was a short burst downwards, and now we're in this sort of, again, this sideways rectangle pattern. In fact, if I want to show you this, if we draw this line here, we can actually, let me make this easier to see. We can draw the support and resistance of this rectangle here. So we can see this right here is the range that the market has been sort of going up and down in starting July 14th, right? So quite a bit of time. We see the RSI has pretty much flatlined, which is very sort of similar to this sort of sideways pattern that you see. What is interesting is if this RSI continues or increases up or starts to go down, this is going to be a foretelling indicator of what's going to happen in the price action. The MACD is starting to give us bearish signals. We can see that it has crossed over into the negatives. We see this histogram starting to turn red, which means that the price action has slowed down significantly and that this momentum indicator is signaling a bearish movement. Now, this type of divergence is called a bearish divergence because although the price action is sort of flattening out, we see that the indicators are signaling a negative downturn. So we can expect, at least in the short to medium term, a bounce downwards. So that's what we gain from the weekly charts. Moving even into a more steeper time frame, let's get into the daily charts. Here we can see in even more detail how sideways this price action is. So we have this overarching rectangle pattern that we drew out in the weekly charts, but if we zoom in, you can see we can actually draw an even more detailed one, which is even more constricted, right? So when the price does break out of either one of these upper or lower bounds, we have a very strong indication for where the market's going to go. And we can see that this is a traditional sort of flat line because we see that the volume is declining heavily. We see the RSI is declining and the MACD is declining as well. So that sort of indication we saw in the weekly charts is confirmed by what we see in this daily chart as well. So that's all for this video. Basically, throughout all this analysis, what we can say is that although it's a fabulous stock in the long run, we do expect very, very good returns. In the short to medium term, there may be signals of weakness, so you do want to watch out a little bit. But yeah, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Enjoy, and I hope to see you in the next video.